If you ever sit around and look at the environment that we're in right now when it comes to relationships, why a lot of times we feel as though as men, women don't respect you. Or you kind of looking at your life and say, yo, why is it that I'm not in a relationship, I'm a good guy? Let me break something down to you. Something I realized in my life and me going through a divorce right now. I'm not sad. I'm not bitter. I'm not nothing. I'm good. But I do know a lot of guys that are going through separations right now, no divorces, and they feel like their life is going. Their life is feeling like a dead end. I'm going to give you something to really think about from this. When you look at, like, a lot of times today, when you look at women, how they talk about men today, they talk about the aspect of finding a good man. What is a good man? A lot of y'all try to question yourselves, are y'all good enough? Or are y'all failing at being a good mate in a relationship? Well, sad part about this is that a lot of guys start out wrong. And when I say wrong, it's not your fault. I'm going to keep it real. It's not your fault. I don't like it when I see guys talking about other men, talking about that, yo, men need to own up to being better and need to up their self. Nah. Because one of the things that we're seeing today, and we've been seeing it years, in the last maybe 20 years or so, we've been seeing more and more women raising boys, should I say, to become men. But that's impossible. You can't raise a boy to become a man. You can only raise him just to become an adult. Other men make men stand in line and be able to understand that what it's like to go up against each other. Other men can look at other men and say, oh, I like the way he operates. I like the way, how he represents himself. I like to be like him. Well, this is the part of when it comes to a father. A father is normally in their kids' lives when it comes to their daughters and their sons. Especially, I'm talking about the men right now. Daughters, we know they need their fathers. That's why we're seeing women operate so different today. They look at men as we second tier. We're not even part of them. So we're not going to even talk about that right now. I say that for another video. But when I talk about this, I'm talking about men that are in their sons' lives. So when their sons are being raised, their sons understand the hierarchy. They understand the balance of structure. They understand violence. And when I say violence, not to mean that their dads are beating up on their sons. They understand the knowledge. They understand the strength. When you grab your son knows, ooh, okay, dad ain't playing. You don't even have to hit your son. They know. They know from the energy. They know from the vibe. Yo, let me stop playing around. Dad not playing right now. They know what it's like to wrestle with dad. They know what it's like when dad walk around the house and you jump on dad's back. They understand that. They know what it's like. They know if something happens to them or they in danger, they know they can call dad. Dad's going to be right there. He's going to put his life on the line. He might even unalive somebody, depending on how bad the circumstance is. At the end of the day, dad is dad. Dad is the representation of what a person feels when they in danger. They can look for dad because dad is going to be the savior. He's going to be the knight shining armor. And that's speaking of the son too. Not meaning that they know they're safe. But it also comes a time where as though a boy starts to get to a certain point in his age, like a good 7, no bull crap. You know what I'm talking about. When a boy is around 5, 6, 7 years old, they start to emulate. They start to mimic their dad. They start to see certain traits in their dad, like, yo. And they enjoy being around their dad because the dad is hands-on. He's active with their son. So your son end up looking at ways to be presentable to their dad. So my son, for instance, and I can only speak of me because I see this. My son would do stuff, even though he loves his mom to death. It's not that he loves someone less. It's just that he's looking for dad to be like, yay, and we do our handshake. He knows the balance. And I don't sit up there and try to deter him away from not doing certain stuff. I look at him and be like, you're doing your thing. If I look and see that he's doing something a little off, I let him go ahead and finish, and then I give him, we have a conversation. And I was like, look, let's start doing some things a little different on this. That way he can span his brain capacity to start to learn different things. I got him doing calisthenics, no weightlifting. Only 7 years old, he not do pull-ups. These are things and traits that dads give their sons. So when you're looking at today, when you're seeing women not understanding the jobs of a man, how can they? When dads are put to the side and they look as they're second in command, not even second in command. It's like they're obsolete. They're just only there for funds. And that's the way the system is set things up. They set it up where it's the weaker. And I'm sorry, it's the weaker. Because if it was not for 911, that's the father of the household now. 911. If it wasn't for 911, men will run rampant and they will end up creating a hierarchy to the point where as though women wouldn't be able to control anything. Not to say that you don't have men that sit up there and be like, yo, I want my woman to be able to operate this way, but you wouldn't be having women literally running around talking how they talk about guys, all because they have the thing called 911. 911 is the fatherhood in the household. It's the I can do wrong, I don't have to do right, but he better not do nothing back to me. You know why? Because I have this number right here that I can call. Sadly, we're starting to see things like this starting to change. When I say starting to change, you're starting to see a lot of women now starting to suffer the repercussions of being unalive today. Because men are to the point now, they're at the breaking point now. They're at that breaking point where so they don't even see a future no more of being played with no more. Men are not standing to the side no more. Now you're starting to see more and more men starting to post more about what they're going through, their hatred. And I say hatred because men have been conditioned now to start having a hatred for women, because when you start having the weaker, and I'm calling it the weaker because it is, because if we was to battle against each other, you wouldn't stand a chance. It's not that you're weak, but weaker when it comes to strength and taking over. There's no way you can take over from us. We're different. We are warriors. There's no such thing as women warriors. We have this whole thing of strong women. We're the strong women. It's a figure of speech that they use to make you feel as you're more of when you're not. You're smart. But when we call it successful, that's debatable. What is success? It's success because you got a career popping, because we got rules, we got grants, we got all type of things that separate men from women, to put women more forward. If you look at the things that are in place for women to get ahead, when you look at the things that are in place for men to get ahead, we're not even in comparison. They mimic things in order to make you above the man, when you can never be above. Because you see, when things hit the fan and things go haywire, next thing you know, you're looking for men to come into the shining armor to be able to save you. But at the end of the day, we're starting to see now men are not coming to your rescue. They're literally seeing, I remember just the times, like, you know what I mean, being in Philly, I remember one time this girl got violated, literally violated on the SEPTA bus. And dudes didn't do anything. They was like, but where the dudes at? We're where you wanted us to be. We mind our business. This is what it has caused. It has caused men to get to a point where we're like, no, we mind our business now. We mind our business because we are not needed until you're in harm. All of a sudden, you can bash us. You don't need us. You don't need this. Y'all don't make enough, you bums. But when we make enough, all of a sudden, you look at it as we're a good catch. Until we realize, when you wake up one day and you realize, wait a minute, I'm a good catch because you're able to utilize my resources. I think we don't reach the point now at this time in our life where as though men are no longer settling for the bullish that we used to. Men have woken up. Men have realized that the old ways are not the ways no more. The new way is to mind your business and build your own self up and not worry about y'all, because the reason why we cannot worry about y'all no more, I'm sorry to tell you this, but even if you got a guy up here to say you shouldn't think this way, well, reason why I said you're strictly wrong, you're totally wrong. I'm going to tell you why. You're not the one right there in the courthouse. You're not the one right there on the side of the guy that lost everything. You're not the one that's paying alimony. You're not the one right there that's paying child support for a kid that's not yours. You're not the one right there that had your wife had kids by you, 4 or 5 kids by you, but you paying child support, but she cheated on you, then filed for divorce. You're not the one right there that's up in the courtroom when they violating you, making you seem like you a deadbeat when you've been active right there. You're not the one right there that gotta spend money for custody. Shut up. If you ain't going through it, shut up. A lot of men today gotta stop being a little ish. I don't want to say the word, but you gotta stop being that dude. You gotta stop. You gotta wake up and stop trying to profess your love to an organization or woman that's sitting up there and wants you to cater to them, but they in deep down inside they looking at you like you little sucker. At the end of the day, they take the dude that's coming out of prison over you, but at the end of the day, when you sit up there making your remarks, you're doing a Derrick Jackson and you operating that way, they're gonna love you. Why? Because they know Derrick Jackson is just catering. I done cheated a lot, but at the same time, hey, I'm human. It don't make me a messed up person, but at the same time, we all human. I like it. It's funny that we can categorize people as bad when they cheat. It's nature. Right? I'm sorry to tell you that. It's nature. I don't know if I ever been cheated on, but I probably did. I just didn't know about it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not going to go up in the, I'm not going to crawl up in the hole and be crying my eyes out. Like, what the fuck? For what? For what? Life goes on. It's a new thing going to block. You'll find somebody else. But for you guys out here today that's in the house all the time and that don't do anything, get outside. Enjoy yourself. You ain't always got to go outside and do something just because it's dedicated to a woman. A lot of you got to start to understand and realize that real life is real life without somebody else. You can go somewhere and have a conversation with men and women. But I love my females. I'm always having conversations. But a lot of times, a lot of guys are on a leash of thinking that I need to put out money in order for her to like me. She's not going to like you. Sorry to tell you, she's not. If she wasn't feeling you before, she ain't feeling you now. It's just that you're giving resources in order to keep her there. Stop playing yourself. Wisen up, fellas. And this goes out for the fellas, not the ones that understand life. A lot of you don't understand life, and the reason why you don't understand life is because you haven't lived long enough. You haven't lived through a lot of trials and tribulations and felt your heart be squished and then realize that, okay, I get it now. I get it. A lot of you don't get it. A lot of you only get it when you at your wit's end and you basically feel like there's no hope left. All because you put your all into a person, not realizing that you got to build yourself and they'll come to you. They don't come to you, you keep it moving. You go where you liked. All right? Sharpen up, fellas. Be safe out here. Like and subscribe.